Good afternoon and welcome back to the Chamber's Mayoral Debate. I'm Rakesh Naidu, President and CEO of the Windsor-Essex Regional Chamber of Commerce. And with us, we have candidates from the town of Lakeshore, Tom Bain and Tracy Bailey. The questions that we'll be posing to the candidates today are questions that were identified through a survey that was sent out to all our members. We received the feedback through the survey. These questions will be pertinent not just to Lakeshore, but to the region of Windsor-Essex as well. Today's debate will be live streamed on Chamber's YouTube channel and also on Facebook. And a recording of the debate will be also available later on Chamber's YouTube channel. The debate will be moderated by Mike Kakuk, who needs no introduction. As we know, he's the wonderful co-host of the #1 morning show in Windsor-Essex, The Morning Drive at AM 800 CKLW. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike. Over to you, Mike.
All right, Rakesh, thank you very much. And this is our third and final debate going around different towns in Essex County. And we've already been to Essex earlier and then Kingsville a few minutes ago. And those are online if you'd like to watch those at some point to learn more about your candidates for mayor in those towns leading up to the municipal election, October 24th. I am Mike Kakuk from AM 800 CKLW, the morning drive, weekday mornings 5 till 9. So great to be here. And now we're going to wrap it up over the next few minutes. We're going to talk to the candidates in the town of Lakeshore. The current mayor and the deputy mayor are both running for the top seat. And Tom Bain, the current mayor, and Tracy Bailey are with us this hour. Now, the debate has been set up where it is a timed debate. The candidates will know how much time they have to answer their questions, add a rebuttal in as well. Wendy Fulton is here from the Windsor Chamber of Commerce to be the timekeeper for today. And the draw was done a few weeks ago on who would go first, what order we would go in, and we ended up drawing those names. And Tracy Bailey, your name came up first, and we will start with you. You have 2 minutes for your opening statement.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to the Chamber for putting the debate together. And I want to thank my colleague for joining me here today. I have over 25 years experience working in the community setting. I'm the Chief Executive Officer for the Community Support Center of Essex County. I run our area community food pantry. I sit on our Windsor-Essex Ontario Health team, and I'm an advocate for community development, accessibility, transportation, and access to services. I'm passionate about community work. I'm the deputy mayor now, of course, and I'm running after a 4-year term of councillor as well. So I have 8 years at the council table. I'm locally educated by St. Clair College and University of Windsor. I have a background in psychology, and then I went back to school and picked up a couple of more certifications in leadership management from both the Canadian College of Health Leaders and the University of Toronto. I am a bold, focused decision maker. I have very clear positions on contentious issues, and I'm a proven leader. I'm collaborative. I keep my finger on the pulse of the community. I've always been in the community. I sit on a number of boards, the library board, the 911 board, the health unit, ELK, IRCA. I'm a founding member of our Stroll the Street, and certainly these allow me to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the community. I'm passionate and I am very eager to gain the support of Lakeshore for my bid for mayor. And I'm eager to bring that leadership forward to fix our roads, to fix our sewage problems, to expand our water treatment, and to create equity from end to end in Lakeshore.
Okay, Tracy, thank you very much. Tracy Bailey, the current deputy mayor and going for the mayor's seat. The incumbent is here as well, running for his seat to win it back on October 24th. Tom Bain, you have 2 minutes.
I want to also begin by thanking the Windsor-Essex Regional Chamber of Commerce for holding this debate and allowing us both to express our opinions on where we are and where we're headed. So certainly thank you, and thank you to you, Mike, for heading this up. Lakeshore is presently one of the leading municipalities in all of southwestern Ontario, and I feel strongly about not only keeping us there as a leading municipality, but continuing to work to raise us even higher levels. Of course, never forgetting to work for our residents in Lakeshore on their individual problems. My over 40 years of experience in municipal government includes 9 years as the warden of Essex County. This a record for all Ontario. It has given me numerous connections at both the federal and provincial levels of government, and this has aided our municipality in building such fantastic facilities as the Atlas Tube Recreation Center. I hope to work with our new council in continuing to improve our local parks, our recreation facilities, and also to go ahead with my main goal, and that is to continue keeping our taxes the lowest in all of Windsor and Essex County, and they have been since my terms as mayor. Lakeshore has a proud record of being able to maintain low taxes while meeting our infrastructure needs. I want to make sure this tradition continues. I also want to help with further economic growth through business attraction and through business retention. As a council and a united team, we need to ensure our health and safety of our residents. I will continue to work for the residents on future problems.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Those are the opening statements from Tom Bain and Tracy Bailey, who are running for the mayor's seat in the town of Lakeshore. Now we have a number of questions that we have set up. Our candidates will have 90 seconds to answer those questions each, and then a 45-second rebuttal. And we're going to start with you, Tracy. You'll have 90 seconds to talk about, and I'm sure you touched on some of these points already, but why are you running for the mayor's position?
Thank you, Mike. Certainly residents have asked me to run. They've asked for my expertise to come to the table. They've asked for me to rise up to the mayor's seat. Lakeshore is facing many, many challenges that are coming up in the next term. They're going to need a mayor that is clear, that is focused, that is active, that answers the phone when the phone rings, that comes up with solutions and works with people collaboratively on solution finding. Lakeshore is going to need a mayor that has their finger on the pulse of the community. And we certainly can see by my record that I have that. We need a mayor that is bringing leadership and one that utilizes the skill set of council members. That for me is a really key point. I think that the members of council all run and bring their own toolbox of things that skills that they can lend, and we need to be utilizing all of our members of council and all of their skill set to come up with solutions to the tough problems that we have ahead of us. As mayor, I will facilitate more efficient meetings. I'll certainly bring more focused collaboration and discussion. I'll stop the planning that happens in 4-year terms. I don't believe myself personally in career politics. I certainly think that we need to have multi-year plans and multi-year visions, and also collective decision making. So in short, people have asked me to run. I believe that people are looking for the change that I can bring. And with Lakeshore's support, I will be the next mayor.
Okay, thank you very much, Tracy Bailey. And now, Tom Bain, tell us why you are running for mayor.
Well, initially, there were thoughts of maybe not, but I had actually a bombardment of people coming saying, hey, we like the job you're doing. And if things are working well, why change it? We want you back. So I certainly have enjoyed those 40 years. I enjoy being in politics. I enjoy working with the council. I enjoy helping our individual residents. I think it's so important that when you get those phone calls, that you respond to them. You get back to them. You ask them what the problems are, and then you work towards answering those solutions. Unfortunately, you're not always able to do that, but if you're out there working for your residents, that's what they appreciate. And I have certainly tried my best over those 40 plus years to do that, to respond to our residents, to meet their needs. And having, as I mentioned in my initial speech, the lowest taxes for so many years, that's something that makes me want to continue onward. I pay taxes too, so I don't like high taxes. And we've just got so many irons in the fire that I want to get a few of those big jobs completed.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Tracy, now back to you. Tracy Bailey, you have 45 seconds.
Thank you so much, Mike. I think one of the important things here is this discussion around keeping the taxes low. We certainly want to do that. We recognize that the dollars come from the tax base, but doing that while keeping the infrastructure up to date. One of the biggest things facing Lakeshore that's coming up is a funding gap. We recognize that we have $40 million in capital work in 2023 that should be done with no funding in the pot to do it. We realize that we have $8 million in a funding gap just in our budget alone. So keeping the taxes low while maintaining the infrastructure isn't something that has been done in the past. There is no money in the coffee can that's been put away to do this work. And we're going to be solution driven moving forward in order to meet those demands.
Okay, 45-second rebuttal from Tom Bain.
And certainly, I realize there has to be a fine balance there. There's got to be a balance. You have to go ahead with infrastructure needs and meet those needs. But when you're getting into new developments and stuff, that's why you have development charges, so that your taxpayers don't have to take that burden and carry it on their shoulders. You put those costs back on the developers. They're the ones that's building the new factories. They're the ones that's building the new apartment complexes and commercial buildings. So that's where a lot of that charge should be. So I think there's a balance.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we go on to our next question for our candidates from the town of Lakeshore. You're watching the debate live from the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce, and we've done Essex, we've gone through Kingsville, and now we're on to Lakeshore, and all these will be posted and stayed on the Facebook page for the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce, their YouTube page as well, if you'd like to watch them a little bit later on. Educate yourself on who you may vote for in the upcoming election, which is October the 24th. Let's get on to this one. There are some key sectors in any town, any municipality. What steps will you take to further support them? Tom, we're going to start with you. Tom Bain, 90 seconds.
Okay, certainly one of the areas where we've made some strides and we need to continue on because of the huge success that we've seen is in tourist attraction. Our lakefront there initially in early years was not utilized to the point it should be, and we have begun a program there of a marina, a beach, parks. And now the complaint we hear from our residents is there's no spots for us. We're attracting people from outside, and that's great to have those people all come in, because when they're in town, they're going to our small businesses in the local towns, and they're buying their gas there and their groceries there and eating there. So certainly that's one of the things, and supporting our small businesses. There's times, and we certainly did that during the COVID times, of withholding interest on taxes. Those kind of moves and working together with our small businesses helps to keep them in. Unfortunately, my own daughter had a small restaurant she'd opened, and when COVID came, she had to close it because of the COVID. It was not a good thing. So certainly working with small businesses is on my plate.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom Bain. Tracy Bailey, 90 seconds for you. What do you think are the key sectors in the town of Lakeshore, and how would you support them?
So I think the same. I think certainly our tourism, we recognize that Lakeshore is one of the fastest growing municipalities, and tourism is certainly part of that. The business development, I think it's the support that we need to put in place. I do sit on the BIA. I chair the Stroll the Street Committee that brings forward our festivals that run in our main streets, and that support of business is very important. Equally important, though, is looking at CIPs that span across our municipality. We recognize that the sheer volume of size of Lakeshore is two of the city of Windsor could fit there. We have lots of things to boast about. We're on the 401. It travels right through Lakeshore. We have a beautiful marina and beautiful assets, but we need to find ways to connect our communities together from Lighthouse Cove to Manning Road.
Okay, thank you very much. Tom, we'll go back to you, 45-second rebuttal.
Well, one point that I certainly want to stress, because it has proved to be very helpful, is that I'm chair of Invest Windsor-Essex and have been for the last 2 terms. This has given us a real upper hand in meeting and working through the Invest Windsor-Essex group in attracting new businesses to our area, that you're not just working on a local Canada basis or US basis. Working through Invest Windsor-Essex is reaching out to the world.
Okay, Tracy Bailey, back to you for 45 seconds.
Thank you very much. So just, I think, a little bit further on the connecting of Lakeshore, and certainly if you look out to Lighthouse Cove and you look into the industry of what they have there, they have restaurants that are coming back. We have residents across the municipality that are talking about enhancements. They want a higher level of service. So restaurants and things to do within the community. So the restaurant development is happening in Lighthouse Cove, and as we work our way, back through the community to Manning Road, we have a huge amount of industrial and employment land, and we really need to work to attract businesses that complement each other.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the debate for the town of Lakeshore for the mayor's seat. Tom Bain, Tracy Bailey are with us today here at the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce. I'm Mike Kakuk from AM 800 CKLW, The Morning Drive. And, both our candidates have talked a lot about industry and investment so far. So I want to move on to the EV sector, electric vehicles, how much that is gaining traction, how the excitement is building here for the new plant coming to Windsor-Essex. And Tracy, we'll start with you. 90 seconds on this. What steps are you going to take to make sure Lakeshore is continue to be a destination for EV-related investment?
Thank you very much. This actually is becoming a hot button topic. Residents are beginning to reach out themselves, in fact, to say, where can my car go? Where can I plug in? What's it going to look like in Lakeshore? So that is something that is really growing. We need to make sure that our landscape is ready also to accommodate, as I was saying a minute ago, around the industrial lands and employment lands that we have, and the need for battery storage and some of the growth that's happening. We need to take a good look at our own landscape and figure out what that's going to mean to Lakeshore.
Okay. And Tom Bain, let's talk about the EV sector and what you would do to make Lakeshore a destination for investment.
Well, it's certainly an area where we're moving quickly, and it's something that, again, through the Invest Windsor-Essex, that I've been able to really keep my thumb on the pulse of what is happening. I think we've already been approached by companies that want to come out with battery storage to do it. I think that's job creation for sure, but we need to make sure that we're not putting those type of buildings anywhere near our residential. There are places out there. We have lots of rural properties out there, and I think we need to make sure that we're going to have the infrastructure for them out there, and that they're not going to become a nuisance to those people who are already out there living and trying to enjoy their lives. That we're going to be able to find a compromise there in getting those new jobs. And I think you'll see a real spin-off in that with our huge transmission plant that we already have there, there's going to be spin-off, and that will help us to attract businesses. And we know we have certainly water problems that we need to deal with and sewage problems, but we're working on those.
Okay. Tracy Bailey, we'll go back to you for a 45-second rebuttal.
Certainly, I think just further on making sure that our landscape accommodates. We need to ensure that our rural landscape is also protected. So we have a lot of comments from residents that are saying protect our agricultural lands, ensure that the landscape, stays in a way that matches the current resident needs. But the biggest complaint, I think, is around communication. I think that residents are not feeling communicated with or consulted. So we know that the battery storage plant is coming. We know that folks are reaching out with applications, but we need to make sure that we're also educating and bringing our residents along with us.
Okay, thank you. And Tom Bain, back to you.
And I think that we are holding open houses and communicating with our people and listening to them and hearing their concerns. And certainly when we go back with our administration and sit down, I want to assure our residents that we are. Preservation of agricultural land is certainly a huge concern for us, and something that I certainly want to continue to do, and I've heard from many of our farming community.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, it's you talk about the EV battery plant coming here. It's certainly a regional type collaboration between everyone in this area, and other further regional collaboration that you want to see, take place, or maybe not see take place? Tom, we're going to start with you in integrating maybe more with other towns in the city of Windsor.
Well, I think one of the areas where we can certainly collaborate is working through our county and working on such things as transportation. Here so often, and unfortunately, a few years ago, we had sat down with the City of Windsor, the town of Tecumseh, and the municipality of Lakeshore, and worked towards setting up a transportation system. Heard from so many of our seniors, so many of our youth that I work in Windsor, I need to get in there. My parents have to drive me every day. From the seniors that if you had a drop-off depot, I'd go there and catch the bus and ride into Windsor. I've got doctor appointments there. So I think that transportation is one area where we really need to work together. There are a number of areas where we're already working together with our ambulance services, with our social services. And I think we can continue to do that. In fact, I have had a couple of informal meetings with Mayor Dilkins on the transportation issue.
Okay. Tracy Bailey, we'll go to you now. 90 seconds about, further regional collaboration that you would like to see or maybe not see.
Yes, thank you. I am a proponent of regional services and shared service delivery. I think transportation makes great sense. We certainly know that we need to be talking with our partners in the town of Tecumseh in order to come up with some type of a shared and regional approach to transportation. We do have a committee that we formed that I hope to see continue between Tecumseh and Lakeshore. And that group is the perfect fit to begin working on this again on the transportation issue. We have youth that certainly want it. The depot is quite popular. Social housing, affordable housing, EMS, all of those are great areas where we should be really looking at shared service delivery. The other is that I'm not certain that we're going to have a choice. We know that with what's coming up, with the high inflation costs, with MPAC that's coming to the table, the tax hikes that are predicted, the amount of capital work that's going to have to get done, we know that we're going to have to be smarter in the work that we're doing, and we're going to have to regionalize some of the things that we're doing. We also recognize that between the county and the city is receiving at current the lion's share, certainly around social and affordable housing. And we need to look at what that strategy looks like. And we need to begin advocating to ensure that the county is getting its fair share. We're starting to see some of that come into Leamington. And we know that we have a ton of hidden homelessness. Okay.
Yeah, it's certainly an issue as well. Tom Bain, we'll go back to you for a 45-second rebuttal.
Well, I think another area is in economic development. Working, as I say, through Invest Windsor-Essex, we need to put forward a united front. If you're going to attract businesses from China and from any of the foreign countries, you got to present a united front, and you got to be able to put a lot on the table, something that a small municipality of 40,000 is unable to do. And I think it can be done beginning initially working with some of our local municipalities and then spreading out to working with the city of Windsor.
Okay. And we'll go back to Tracy Bailey now.
Thank you. I think that there's other issues too where shared service is going to make a lot of sense. We have things like the hydro line that we've heard a lot about, the hydro line that's going to come through Comber. And Comber is worried about that. Residents are saying that they're concerned what that will mean for our employment lands, for our farmlands, and it goes back to that protection of our rural landscape. And there's some opportunity there too, to work with Chatham-Kent and to work with other areas, Kingsville and Leamington certainly, on working together for the betterment of what Comber will look like post this hydro line. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We are talking to the candidates from the town of Lakeshore for the mayor's seat, live from the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce. Want to thank them for putting this on today, getting to know the candidates. We did Essex earlier. the two candidates from there, Sherry Bondi and Richard Malash, and Kingsville, Laura Lucier, Dennis Rogers, Tamara Stump. We're all here, so you can go back and watch those on the Chamber's Facebook page and YouTube pages. And we continue now in our final half with our candidates from the town of Lakeshore, Tom Bain and Tracy Bailey. And I want to move on to housing affordability. We've asked all our candidates about that today. It is certainly a big issue in Windsor and in all parts of Essex County. And Tracy, we'll start with you. 90 seconds. How would you address the housing affordability issue?
Thank you. Well, we know that this is the number one concern that's hitting us. We know that we have a housing shortfall. In Lakeshore, we're building a bit of an elitist community because our official plan certainly doesn't accommodate or attract affordable housing. So for me, I'd like to obviously change our policies. I'd like to change our official plan. I'd like to ensure that those come back, that allow for a social and affordable housing strategy in Lakeshore. The other is that I really believe that we need to be having really deep conversations with our developers, and we need to be attracting development. And in particular, integrated development, so that we're not creating pockets of housing. Instead, what we're doing is developing communities that have affordable housing inside them. So, one house may be valued at $200,000 or $300,000 less than the others within the same neighborhood. My children play with your children; they go to school together, and we certainly are building more complete communities in that way.
Okay. And housing affordability, Tom Bain, you have 90 seconds.
Well, certainly I have heard from many of our residents who are saying, my family's been here in Lakeshore for generations. I don't want to go to Windsor. I don't want to go somewhere else. I want to stay here. We need affordable housing. I'm not able to take care of the lawns and do all the work and the repairs in the houses and stuff. So I need someplace where I can semi-retire and enjoy my family and enjoy my time. And that's something that we've got to work on. And I think one of the solutions we can do is, again, not work as an individual but municipality, but to work with the County of Essex. I think we can use a county approach on this. The county has a heads up on it already and is working on it. And this is one of those areas where we can work with our neighboring municipalities of working with Essex, who butts up to us, or with Tecumseh, who adjoins us, Leamington, and that we can answer a lot of those questions by working together and building those complexes that are so urgently needed.
Okay. Tracy Bailey, we'll go back to you about the housing affordability issue. You have 45 seconds for a rebuttal.
Thank you. Certainly, we know that this fits perfectly for a regional strategy. As the deputy mayor, I've been very successful in having discussions with developers and sitting at tables to try and create affordable housing strategies. As mayor, I'm going to continue to push for that integrative housing model. And as mayor, I'm going to push to change the policies and change the official plan to allow it. Because until the official plan changes, we're not going to make a difference in this regard. What we do know is that we need 31,000 more houses by 2030, and that's only 10 years away.
Okay, and Tom Bain, you have 45 seconds.
Okay, certainly, as I say, I think that we need to start on this right away. It's something that surprisingly the last 1 or 2 years, the COVID problem has brought it to light so much more. We have been very fortunate in our residential development, and we need to now focus on affordable housing. That we've seen how the prices have skyrocketed, and even though they've dropped down a bit, they're not going to go way down. So a problem that we need to jump on right away as a team.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to another question now, and we're talking about the town of Lakeshore and the current challenges that you see. Tom, we're going to start with you, Tom Bain. Current challenges that maybe haven't been mentioned yet before or on top of your mind, and the opportunities you see for the town of Lakeshore.
Well, certainly one of the challenges that's out there has been out there. Initially, it hit us by surprise, is that of sanitary sewers. We were at like 75, 80% capacity, and all of a sudden with our instant growth, we're at 100. And we have jumped on the bandwagon and moved forward quickly in now rebuilding and increasing the size of our present sanitary plant. Step 2, which we got to head into right away, is getting the lines out there. And there have been several discussions with our developers on getting those lines out there so that rather than have a freeze on building in total, commercial, residential, that we're going to work together as a huge team, not only a team with other municipalities, but with our developers in solving these problems of the sanitary sewers. So that's probably the number one on our plates coming up for the future. Other things such as recreational growth and stuff, and there's a real new demand for that. So a number of things.
Okay, yeah, there are quite a few. Tracy Bailey, we'll go to you for 90 seconds. Some of the current challenges as you see them and the opportunities you see in the town of Lakeshore.
Certainly, I think that one of the things with the challenges is we don't get to say they're a surprise, right? Because we need to be ensuring that future generations have been planned for. And that is the one thing that we are not doing currently. So we are not planned out in a 10-year window. We are not planned out for the future. The money in the pot is insufficient to replace the lines in the ground and the sewage problem today. So we're going to need to be very, very creative. We have a large municipality. We have a small tax base. We have $40 million in capital work that needs to be done in 2023 that is unfunded. We have a $9 million shortfall in addressing. We need stopgap funding. We need to be advocating for government assistance in areas where we can. And we certainly need to go after it. They're not going to come to us for it. Lakeshore is only 64% funded on its assets. So these are the things that are going to be big challenges coming up. Our roads, we have 550 kilometers of roadway that is falling behind. We have a tax base that is fixed that is simply not enough. So those are big challenges coming forward. Some of the opportunities for us, we certainly know that we are a beautiful and a diverse community. We're 30 minutes from the border. We have a 401 that travels through Lakeshore. We have a beautiful marina and 250 slip marina. We have one of the greatest beaches on Lake St. Clair. So we have a lot to boast about. We also have a lot of development that's going on, and we'll see where that heads next.
Okay, and just to follow up to that, Tom, a 45-second rebuttal. Any other thoughts you'd like to add?
Yeah, and those problems, I think we are getting on top of those problems. I've been down to Toronto several times, meeting with the ministers, working on grants in those meetings with the ministers, laying out where we are, our problem, what it is, our financial stance, and that we need help in the line of grants to get these lines put in, that we are going to work as a team with the developers and with their financial aid, which certainly I have to say has been great in the past. We can get the job done.
Okay. Tracy Bailey, you have 45 more seconds.
Thank you. We certainly recognize as well that grants can't do all of the work and that we need to be planning and putting money in the coffee can for future generations. And I think that people understand that at this point, we recognize when we have our children that that's the time to begin planning for their education. So certainly when we buy a fire truck, we need to be doing that. Growth doesn't necessarily pay for growth. So that is a misconception. We know that there is a dollar shortfall in growth. Every time we see a home built, it's costing the municipality because that too has fallen behind. So we have quite a bit of work to do, and we need to be ensuring that we're on top of that.
Okay, thank you very much. We're talking to the candidates this live debate here at the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce from the town of Lakeshore, talking with Tracy Bailey and Tom Bain. I'm Mike Kakuk from AM 800, and this is being streamed live from the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce. And we'll be up there if you want to watch it afterwards. Share it with your friends who may be interested in not knowing who to vote for, want to get more information. Make sure you share the links here on Facebook and on YouTube, wherever you like and where you're watching this afternoon if you're watching live. We have one more question for our candidates, and then we'll get to our closing remarks. And Tracy Bailey, we'll start with you on this one. We talk a lot about small and medium-sized businesses in all areas and how important that is. How would you help small business owners, small and medium business size business owners in Lakeshore?
Thank you. So some of that I did speak about. One of the strongest components, I think, is the CIP, so Community Improvement Planning. We started some of that work. So we tabled some pretty aggressive motions and they got pushed aside this last 4-year term. So we need to get back to that work. We need CIPs that are spanning end to end. We need to begin out in Lighthouse Cove and work our way back. Because we have strong BIAs at the Manning Road corridor, and we certainly do in the downtown core of Bell River. But we need to see those CIPs in the spots where those BIAs don't necessarily exist and they haven't formed as of yet. As well, I'm the chair of the Stroll the Street, so I think that we need to continue that work that puts a lot of people in one spot in the downtown core supporting our businesses. And it gives the opportunity for businesses to set up and pop up. And we're doing that better than we've ever done it before. Certainly COVID taught us a few things about how we do congregating and how we get our word out for businesses. As I said, I sit on the BIA and I certainly keep my finger on business development. As mayor, I'll continue to play a key role in creating an environment for businesses to thrive. One way we can do that as well is to attract business investment to set up our environment for businesses to do well and to provide incentives for things that we want to attract. We can reduce or exempt certain taxes. We can do business with SMEs. We can relax tendering requirements and things like that.
Okay, thanks very much. And now 90 seconds, Tom Bain, helping small and medium-sized businesses in Lakeshore. What is your plan?
Well, certainly, I'm very concerned, as you hear, when your own daughter loses her restaurant business. You know the value of small businesses and look forward to how can we help them. And as mentioned, working with the BIA, we need a good, strong voice on the BIA, and we need a communication back on what's happening there and what's going on as far as that goes. And then there are grants available out there, and that's one of the areas where Invest Windsor-Essex can help us. There are grants out there for new businesses starting up, and unfortunately, we need to make these new businesses aware of these grants, help them with it, and that's where Invest Windsor-Essex can help. That's where the municipality of Lakeshore can help, that we can be there to help guide them and direct them, as well as when we can give them breaks through the taxes to keep their businesses going. That they are a very valuable asset to our community, and without them, I mean, unfortunately, we're seeing today in our small communities, close a bank and then all of a sudden something else closes. So that's got to be a major focus for us.
Okay. Let's go back to you, Tracy Bailey. You have 45 seconds as a rebuttal.
Thank you. And certainly the other way is to leverage our economic development officer. Lakeshore does have one, a very skilled worker, so we can certainly leverage that work. The other is setting up the stage. So we have to ensure as well that our urban roadways and the traffic calming strategies that we have in place promote business. It's challenging for businesses to pop up in the road to be so busy that you can't cross the road, lacking crosswalks, traffic calming strategies like the curves that can be put in place for our roadways. We certainly can look at those things that allow the little guy or the work local to improve. And this is something that as mayor, I can assist with.
Okay. And Tom Bain, we'll go back to you for your 45-second rebuttal.
Okay, well, certainly, as I say, we need to work as a team on this. All these items, we need to work as a team. And our present economic development officer was a member of the Invest Windsor-Essex group. So he was well versed and planted in what was going on and has a number of connections. And he's done an excellent job for us in helping our small businesses. So we need to continue that work and to raise it another level.
Okay. All right. So those are the questions that we've had today that have been prepared by the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce and given to our candidates from Lakeshore, Tom Bain and Tracy Bailey. Now we're going to get our closing remarks. And Tom, we're going to start with you. You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Certainly the position of mayor has changed over the years that I've been involved. And I mentioned to various people that when I was mayor back in Rochester, you knew when they bought a book or a pencil. And today that doesn't happen. We're so large and growing so quickly that your administration and your mayor have to work very closely together to get these things accomplished. And I had no problem at that time teaching full time and being the mayor. Today, the mayor's position, I'm in the office every day. There's no question I'm in there every day. Not always 8 hours, not always 6 hours, but I'm in there every day. There's just so many things on the go that we need to deal with. So I want to certainly, as mayor, continue us as a leader in southwestern Ontario, that we need to continue down our proven path. Like, let's not change success. Let's continue with it. Let's build on that success that we have, that we can continue that success. And I think that my experience as both mayor and warden of Essex County will help to work towards that, and to work with our residents in Lakeshore, and that we can meet not only the resident needs, but the needs of Lakeshore as a municipality. So certainly hope that we'll be able to get back to council and work as a good, solid team, and that I'll be the mayor at the top.
Okay, thank you very much, Tom, for your closing remarks. And now let's go to Tracy Bailey, your closing remarks.
Thank you so much. Certainly one of the things and one of the jobs of mayor is to groom up future councils and groom up future mayors. So certainly I look forward to working with members of council that come forward. And I'm looking for certainly that collective decision making and the grooming up of future councils. As mayor, I will provide the guidance and the leadership that the community needs. I will be a leader of a team that celebrates our successes together, the leader that fosters collective decision making, and a group that works together. I have a proven track record. I have already built relationships with partners and key stakeholders. I'm experienced with all levels of government. I'm experienced with our county partners. I'm experienced with the city of Windsor. I bring the energy that's needed, and I bring with me a vision approach, a long-term vision, not a 4-year plan, not a re-election plan, but a long-term vision, which is what our municipality needs. I am proactive and I'm solution-driven. With my experience, my connections, my expertise, and my proven track record, and the support of the community of Lakeshore, I will proudly serve the 2023 term if elected. Thank you again to the Chamber for providing us the opportunity here today.
All right. Thank you to you both for coming in. I know you're both very busy, especially right now leading up to the election. And we want to thank all our candidates from Essex, Kingsville, Lakeshore. We just currently just wrapped up our conversation with Tom Bain and Tracy Bailey. Now, if you want to go back on the Chamber's Facebook page and the YouTube page, you can go back. And earlier we had the debate air with the candidates from Essex, Sherry Bondi and Richard Malash. Also in Kingsville, Laura Lucier, Dennis Rogers, and Tamara Stump. And those will be up there leading up to the October 24th election before you go to the vote. And we encourage you to vote. Voter turnout for the last municipal election was ridiculously low. It's time to get out there and vote, or don't complain if you don't vote. There's advanced polls that are available. Get out there and do that. I know in the city, Micmac Park this weekend, there's even drive-through. That's my style. Don't even get out of your car. Make your vote. You're on your way. And get educated before you make your vote. And this is the way that we're helping you do that today here at the Windsor-Essex Chamber of Commerce. So that does wrap up our debates for today. Again, thanks to the Chamber. Thanks to all our candidates for coming in. And we'll be talking about the election on AM 800 leading up to October the 24th. I am Mike Kakuk from AM 800, The Morning Drive. And thanks to the Chamber for asking me to moderate over the last few hours. Let's go back now to Rakesh Naidu.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Tracy and Tom. That was a great debate. Both of you are outstanding leaders with significant experience and expertise, and Lakeshore will be in great hands no matter who wins. We wish you the best. The Chamber looks forward to working with you. Whoever gets elected on October 24th, and may the best candidate win. Mike, again, thanks for doing an excellent job in moderating the debate. And for those of you who are watching us live, remember this will be also available later. It will be recorded and available on the Chamber's YouTube channel. So please pass this on to your contacts. Make sure they see this. But more importantly, make sure that we go out and vote come October the 24th. And I wish the candidates the best. And it's great that they made the time for this. All candidates we know are extremely busy at this time. So we really appreciate them making time to join us here at the Chamber. We appreciate that confidence. We are the voice of the business. We want to make sure that the voice of business, the concerns is brought to the attention of the candidates that are vying for this time during the elections, and that we get the response from them. And once elected, the Chamber will be there with the candidates, talking with them, presenting the concerns, identifying the opportunities with them, and working together so that we can take a region forward. Thanks once again to all of you for joining us today. Take care.